WFLA AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show on this gorgeous Saturday morning, getting ready for a beautiful day on the water and a absolutely spectacular week to come. The weather is looking great. Fishing is going well. Water is super clean. It's a great time to be out there and enjoy the beautiful area that we have. And this morning in studio, we've got a special guest. We've got Captain Travis Thompson from All Florida, and we are going to be talking all things fishing, inshore, nearshore, and off, answering your questions and talking a little bit about the weather and more. So hopefully you guys want to join the conversation this morning. If you do, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. If you want to join the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a fishing question, if you want to talk fishing, if you have a fishing report, anything at all, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. As far as weather is concerned, absolutely beautiful this upcoming week. It is spectacularly calm weather-wise for the really forecast period. Going to be a little breezy this morning. Right now, currently at the Reddington Pier, it is gusting to about 15 knots. So a little gusty this morning, but it's going to be calming down through the mid-morning time frame. And we're in that period where you get those afternoon thunderstorms and kind of persists overnight, and then in the morning it's still a little breezy and calms down. That'll be the same way tonight. It'll pick up this afternoon late and through the nighttime and calm down through mid-morning tomorrow. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really, really nice weather. A little bit moderate Thursday and into the weekend, but really great opportunities to capitalize on the speeding water volumes, because we're going to be moving into that full moon. We're on the first quarter moon now, and we're moving into a full moon weekend coming up. So for those on charter boats and party boats, red snapper season opens up at the end of this work week. For private recreational anglers, you're only about 2.5 weeks away. So red snapper season is afoot, and we're excited about a beautiful, beautiful summertime of plenty of good fishing. Plus, there's a lot of stuff going on inshore as well, which we're going to get to this morning, too. That weather report is always brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors. They're celebrating 51 years as the fastest and most trusted impact window and door company in Florida. At Reese Windows, they install most windows and doors in 6 to 8 weeks, and now you can win them absolutely free. If you pick up the phone and text HAPPY to 20129, you get a chance to win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese. Again, text the word HAPPY to 20129 in order to get a chance to win. How you doing this morning, Travis?
Good. I was just texting happy.
Yeah.
Trying to win. Are we eligible?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I think everybody is. It's a great deal. I mean, $15,000 in free stuff. You can't beat that.
Can't beat that. Man, so you talked about the tides that we got coming up. Like
yeah.
Southwest Florida, my stomping grounds. Like tarpon, not to be too specific, but tarpon fishing is going off.
Whoa, yeah.
Tarpon fishing is going off. So it's an exciting time of year, man.
Yeah.
May and June is like really my favorite time of year to fish.
It's an interesting time. I like May a lot. October and May, those like kind of hip months where you're transitioning between that spring and summer to fall weather. I really enjoy those times of year. And in June, like you said, it's not quite summer yet in a lot of ways. I don't know. This year it got warm pretty fast, so I don't know if June might be pretty summerish.
Yeah, I'm always concerned too. Like, I think they've said we're going into an El Nino pattern, and when we go into that, we see the west winds.
Yeah,
right. Like we see a more pronounced west wind on the Gulf Coast, but we haven't really been hit with that yet.
Nope.
So like, let's play this out. So what we're trying to tell you guys is if you have sick time or own your own business or whatever, it might be a good week to be on the water a few days.
Take advantage of the weather window.
Take full advantage of that.
Yes, the west winds, but also the good thing about El Nino patterns that we are setting up for right now is typically a less active hurricane season. So
typically a less active hurricane season. On the hunting side, on the waterfowl side, they can cause some winds and some losses because it doesn't rain as much in the Midwest, so you don't have as good a breeding population.
Oh, okay.
So you have like a unintended consequence or an indirect consequence. But there's usually a lot of water in the state because it's wet all winter, and so it's really good on the duck side. Spreads the birds out and plenty of habitat.
Nice. So a lot of different things El Nino can cause and affect. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The whole hurricane season thing is people keep standing on that, like, oh, it's going to be a less active hurricane season. But people got to remember it only takes one.
It only takes one.
Yeah. And I think Florida in general has learned that lesson this last year.
How many times? I mean, God, Ian hit. It was the end of September, almost October last year. I mean, we were
September 30th.
That's definitely the busiest time of hurricane season, August, September, October. But still, it felt like we kind of skated through up to that point, and then all of a sudden, it's like, here you go.
Yeah. Florida took one on the hip there.
Yeah, I'm never out of the woods on hurricane season. December 1st is when I start breathing a sigh of relief.
Exactly. And we're in the thick of it now, man. But hasn't been too active yet. So hopefully that El Nino will help us out. We do have quite a few callers joining the conversation this morning. Remember, if you want to call us and join the conversation, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. We've got Jeff in Tampa on the line. How you doing this morning, Jeff?
Hey, good morning, Captain Dylan. How are you guys today?
Another day in paradise,
Doing
my
good.
brother. How about you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great. Unfortunately, working this morning, but other than that, life is good.
Well, what do you got for us, brother?
Hey, I'd like to find out from Mike this morning when you talked to him in the Keys about the moon phases, how it affects the dolphin fishing during, say, a full moon.
Okay.
We've been down there before during full moon, and the fish just seem different than they do at other parts of the cycle.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be sure to ask Capt Mike from Big Pine Key when he calls in about the mahi fishing on the full moon.
Yeah, definitely.
I would imagine
in the middle of June, so.
Yeah, I would imagine my guess, and we'll ask the expert when he gets on, is it's going to be spreading them out and probably making them a little bit more difficult, I would imagine, on a full moon during the day because they're going to be feeding more at night. And that full moon brings those squid up from the surface. And down there you have so many upwellings, so they probably eat really, really heavily, and it makes them a little harder to troll for unless you get lucky on those weed lines. I know around here go ahead.
When we've been down there before during full moon, you get the ones that you're trolling for, but it's just the schoolies that come up. They seem like they're kind of full already.
Yeah.
And they just don't really like to eat like they normally do.
Yeah. I would imagine that's probably why all that squid coming to the surface. But we'll ask the expert when he calls in. That's a great question, Jeff.
Okay. Hey, and one more thing.
Yeah.
I know Mike's not there today, but one thing that was really awesome when I was a kid, I grew up in this area, going down to Ybor, the Silver Ring Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the 60s. And getting your Cuban sandwich and a 6-ounce Coke.
Amen.
And watching all the old guys back there making them, still smoking their cigars while they're making their sandwich. It was incredible.
That's awesome, man. Well, we love our friends over at Silver Ring Cafe. They'll be out there at Bartow Ford on June 6th. We have that Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. Capt Mike himself will be there talking tarpon, and you can get your Silver Ring Cafe food for free if you join that event. So we hope to see you out there, brother.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Thanks. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you, buddy.
Bartow Ford, incredible event that you guys do out there.
It's really cool out there. Such a beautiful location and really good people as well.
Yeah, and great food.
Yeah, even better food. Speaking of good people, we've got Captain Bobby Woodard on the line. How are you doing this morning, buddy?
Speaking of tarpon in Boca Grande.
Yeah, he woke up. That's what it was.
Fellas.
What's up, buddy?
Fellas, what's going on? How are y'all?
Another day in paradise.
Good,
man.
Bobby. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. But Memorial Day weekend, I just want folks to realize the reason for the holiday.
Amen.
You know, shout out to all of our veterans, you know, who've fought, served. But no, it's going good down here, man. Got the boat in the water, tied up in the slip at the marina. Because of Memorial Day weekend, I'm exclusively night fishing for the next 4 days.
Smart.
And,
man.
Boats in the water. Pinfish traps are all set and baited, and I'm actually heading back to the house now to chill for the rest of the day until later this evening.
Good for you, man.
Hiding out from the crowds.
Hey, Bobby, what are you jumping the most fish on right now? Is it crabs or is it pinfish?
Yeah, no, it's still a crab bite.
Okay.
The pinfish I typically have, you know, in case we end up out on the beach. That's one of my favorite beach baits is a pinfish under a cork. You know, they're digging for the bottom and the cork's keeping them up high. You know, sending out that vibration. So if I end up out on the beach, I'll throw the pinfish on, or just a little backup plan, especially night fishing for tarpon. You know, generally we don't have a whole lot of bridges down here, like, you know, up in the bay. So our night fishing is going to be pretty much a pass fishery. So if you get out there and it's too windy, too rough, you know, clients are kind of freaked out from the nighttime, whatever, then I've got those pinfish as a backup to go hit some, you know, dock snook, you know, snook lights.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So
There's a lot of good snook lights down there.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that.
Oh, I do. I love
no,
it.
there's not. No, there's not.
Thank you, Bobby. We don't talk about that.
We spent like 2 weeks down there in a big boat, and we really couldn't do the whole tarpon thing during the day. But at night, I took the little inflatable John boat, and there's some incredible snook lights down there.
I don't remember that.
Apparently, my guests don't want to conversate about the both grand snook lights, but we'll move
the
on.
Hurricane, Dylan, that was years ago, and I believe the hurricane wiped those out last year.
Yeah, all the lights they did. Yeah, all the powers.
They went away
gone
in a
to the
boating
lights.
accident, huh?
No, you're exactly right. That's one of my favorite places. Like I snook fished at night a lot around here.
Oh yeah,
Like John's Pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's no snook lights there either.
right. But down there, man, it was just something different. And you could always catch the bigger snook off the lights.
Yeah.
Off the lights, you put a big bait
in the
in
shadow.
For
and-
sure, the shadow
or
line.
just in a dark dock between two. That like you see, you had 3 docks, and the one on either side has lights. You fish the one in the middle. Oh my God, you better hang on.
Now I want to go dock fishing. We appreciate it, Bobby. How would someone get a hold of you if they wanted to book a trip down there with Fly 'em High Charters?
Yeah, man. Best way is old school. Give me a shout, 863-224-1418, or check out the website, captain-bobby.com, and get with me. We'll get you out.
We appreciate you, my man.
Good luck tonight, man. Stay safe out there. There's going to be a lot of people on the water.
Yeah, I'll shoot y'all a text.
All right,
man.
buddy. Look forward to it. Always appreciate his yacht wear tarpon photos.
I've never seen anyone dressed that nice to go run a tarpon trip.
He looks so pretty.
Like when I run a trip, I look like I just got done fighting somebody. Like I'm covered in blood. I got like an old shirt on.
Yeah, we're
Bobby's
not
got
Boca
like
Grande tarpon
Yeah,
guys.
he's got like a button down on, and looks like he's gonna roll up to the Gasparilla Inn after for a couple of drinks.
Oh, man. We got plenty more on the other side. We got some great callers on the line as well. If you want to join the conversation, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back. That was perfect.
Also, the thought of Bobby saying it's old school is the most delightful thing ever.
I know. If we had more time, I was going to hit on that. Old school to call me on my cell phone.
Yeah. Send a fax to this
Smoke
number.
signals.
Yeah. How do you book? Send a fax.
Definitely don't use my website because I don't know how to.
But honestly, we were talking off air earlier about that. Like, we both get a lot of messages and everything else through avenues we don't want them.
Yeah.
Bobby probably doesn't worry about that as much.
He's got no
Got
worries.
one way in, one way out.
Yep. Call me and that's it.
He solved the problem. Bobby texted us the other day and asked us if we wanted a cricket. What was it? A cricket holder for
cricket cage.
A cricket cage for a bait shop.
Yeah. I asked my wife, I was like, hey, do you want this? She was like, what is that? I'm like, exactly. No one knows what it is.
So there was no chance your wife was going to say yes?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I didn't run it
To
past
keep
Emily.
bugs in our house
Yeah.
or even in the garage? No.
Well, I know you didn't bass fish a lot, but you said you did in college.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Did you ever go in a bait shop, freshwater bait shop?
Never.
Like,
there's always crickets everywhere.
Yeah.
Those cricket
all over
cages
the
are
walls?
super inefficient. No, like that cricket cage will have 1,000 crickets. I don't know how many you can put in
Yeah.
it. It's like this box where they can't come out the top, but it's open. But anywhere in that bait shop you wander around, there's crickets chirping that
Yeah.
have gotten out and escaped. I'm like,
And probably because it's like when you dip shrimp out of a shrimp tank, inevitably 1 or 2 shrimp
Exactly.
slip out of that net and end up
Exactly.
on the ground. So crickets, they just keep jumping.
yeah, and they never shut up. It's not the jumping that bothers me; it's the never shutting up.
That's funny. Yeah, in college, around UCF, there wasn't like freshwater bait shops around the campus that I knew of. So we always ended up going to Bass Pro, and that's where we got all our tackle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Had to go to the big boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Orlando, or no bait shops around the college. But that's probably changed since I went to school there because UCF has a huge fishing team.
Yeah, I've gone over and
Very
spoken
competitive.
at the Real Night Deal too.
Mhm.
Like they have a big club.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was in school there, they were just like starting up. And when I graduated, or I didn't graduate with a bachelor's, but when I left UCF, it was really starting to gain some momentum. They had like 40 or 50 members.
I want to say I showed up on like a Thursday night or something. They had like 50 or 60 people in an auditorium for me to speak, which was not a big deal. And it's like, that's pretty impressive for a college to have that many interested in fishing. But I think their location really is conducive to that. And so they've, there's kids that go there that go home on the East Coast, come home on the West Coast, go inshore, go lake fishing, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that was the cool part is it just brought such a cross section of Florida. But it is interesting. A lot of Florida residents go there. It's a just magnet for Florida residents from all over the state.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's graduation season.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been seeing UCF come up a lot.
Yeah.
It's I'm older than you, but used to you always saw Florida State, Florida,
Yeah.
or one of the community colleges.
Especially at like even my age, UCF started to become a thing.
Now, I'm like,
It's predominant.
what is FAU? What is FGCU? Like I'm having to go, and I know what they
FIU.
are, but yeah, like there's a lot more schools, which is really cool
Mm-hmm.
because you're seeing these kids kind of spread out around the state, and
Yeah. There's just more kids in general too.
yeah. I saw a friend's daughter graduated the other day, and she was going to be an owl, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like Temple is the only owls I knew of.
That's North.
No, it's FAU.
Oh, FAU.
Florida Atlantic is the owls. So, but it took me a minute to research that because
two and
it was
two
urgent that I knew that.
That's Travis right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Big O went to FAU or FIU. Okay. When you ship crickets, you have fallout, he said.
Yeah, I'm looking to avoid cricket fallout. I don't really have a cricket demand
Yeah.
in my life. So,
Cricket demand.
yeah, my cricket demand is low these days.
Morning, Nick. Appreciate the stars, my man. Oh, Bobby said his cricket cage went in the dumpster. It was a sad day.
Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Real Animals Radio. It's Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show on News Radio WFLA. We are talking fishing this morning with my good friend Captain Travis Thompson of All Florida and answering your questions and talking fishing reports. If you want to give us a call, join the conversation at 1-800-969-9352. No Captain Mike this morning, unfortunately. He is cruising the Gulf of Mexico right now aboard a big old cruise ship. He's heading to Cozumel with the family. So, enjoying some time off and getting some time out on the water in a much bigger boat than normal.
Yeah, when you said cruising, I wasn't sure, is he fishing or is he cruising? But
He's cruising.
he's living the dream.
Yeah. He's hopefully sitting on a lounge chair. Well, maybe
hopefully he's
not
asleep right now.
Yeah.
But, somebody's going to bring him a fruity drink in a couple hours.
Exactly. A good old boat drink. It's definitely fun. Cruises are cool, man. I like cruises. He was all, I think this is one of his first because he was saying, I don't know. I don't want to go on a boat for a vacation. And I was like, dude, cruises are pretty legit. I didn't want to do a cruise either, but my wife talked me into it. And I had a lot of fun on our first cruise.
So it was anti-cruise, and now I'm somewhat intrigued by a cruise. Emily, if she's listening to this, will be jumping up and down. But I'm mildly claustrophobic.
Oh yeah.
And so the space, I'm a big dude like you. Like the spaces are kind of tight, and she's worried that I'll get on the cruise ship and then freak out that I can't get off the cruise ship. So
yeah, the cabins can be a little bit constrictive, and like the hallways to the cabins. But I'm the same way as you. But there's a lot of open space, and 99% of the trip, you're not even anywhere remotely around your cabin. You're mostly in those big open areas, so it's cool. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, and we have a Disney cruise plan now. Since we got the kids, yeah. So September, looking forward to that one. So it'll be interesting. We've got Donald from Lutz on the line this morning. How are you doing this morning, Donald?
Morning, Donald.
Good morning, Captain Travis. Good morning, Captain Dylan. Hope all is well. Man, cruising is the best. I've been on 8 of them, including Alaska.
Holy moly. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I did an 8-day Alaska with 6 different ports. It was just phenomenal.
Whoa.
But a couple weeks ago, I'm in Louisiana, right? Finally got to go to Louisiana and go catch some fish. It's crazy there. You're allowed 25 trout per person per day, 12 inches to no limit. And 5 redfish, 16 or over.
That's crazy, man.
It is crazy per day per person.
And they keep everyone that comes over the side.
Oh yeah, no questions about it.
I threw back a 28-incher. It's like, I'm not keeping this 28-inch redfish. That went overboard, and they were like, "What did you do?" I said, "I'm not keeping it."
I've had the guides out there keep it, even like when I'm had a flight later that day or something. I've had the guides keep the fish to eat later or whatever. They're all about catch and keep.
There it is. It's a different culture for sure.
On day one, because I was there for 2 days fishing. On day one, my captain caught one of my redfish. He goes, "Give me that redfish." And he took it off the line and threw it in the box. It's like, I was going to throw that back. It was like 24 inches, but it was just such an incredible area. You know, where we were in Louisiana, Baratow, a little town, a little podunk town with podunk stores, but it's beautiful.
That's awesome, man.
Absolutely beautiful.
Unfortunately, Donald, we are up against a break, my brother. I do enjoy your conversation, though. It's always good to hear from you, my friend.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm going out today with my kayak and to go find the tag red starfish.
All right, man. Good luck.
Good luck.
CCA Star Tournament's on. We definitely got to talk about that today, too. We will be right back after this. Real Animals Radio.
Local Lexus dealers, WFLA News Desk.
CCA Star. Surprised I didn't get reminded about that one.
Yeah, where's...
That kicked off Memorial Day, didn't it? No, wait.
I think it kicked off today.
Today's
I think
the
it
first
kicked
day?
off today because I saw Adam just posted a. They had their first winner already, I think.
What?
Yeah, hold on, I'm looking.
If it kicked off today, how they had their first winner?
Maybe it kicked off yesterday.
May 28th, so it starts tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, this was
Oh wait, no,
unregistered.
this is 2022.
This guy was unregistered.
And he already caught one of those.
Competition starts tomorrow at sunrise. So today, at sunrise.
Saturday. All right, so it starts today.
Yep.
There it is.
This guy caught one in Pinellas
14
County.
hours ago. Yeah.
He caught one in Pinellas County.
Wow.
So there you go. I basically just dropped everybody a pin.
Yeah.
Man, Star is a great program.
Man. Imagine catching one of those and not being in the tournament.
They're calling it Tegrets.
Tagret.
No Tegrets.
Man, if you caught a tagged redfish and you weren't in the tournament, whoo, that would hurt. Just released a boat. They have some really nice prizes for tagged redfish.
Gosh, dude. Incredible prizes.
Yeah.
And now they're doing the tag dolphin thing, too.
Tagged mahi?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So if you catch a tagged dolphin, you're in it?
Yep. So the offshore guys can participate as well.
That's cool.
$40 if you're a CCA member.
And it's only like 65 if you're not.
80 if you're not, but it includes your membership.
Yeah. So 40 if you are, 80 if you're not.
Yep. And then $10 for a kid. Is that us?
No. We got $355. Sounded like it though, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We'll drop the CCA Star Tournament link in the chat for you guys on the stream. Bobby Woodard said they used to have a large toad in their tackle shop to eat the crickets that got out of the cage. I feel like
I don't know what
that's a
they do
problem.
with him. Like, there's a whole story there that
Yeah.
needs to be written.
I feel like that's a problem because what if the toad got into the cricket cage?
Oh,
'Cause
dude,
there's just a hole open in the top.
Yeah.
He'd probably die to eat so many crickets.
Yeah, but toads can't jump that high.
Oh, they can't?
Yeah, no, toads are like,
I thought but can a toad climb up a wall?
no, not a toad. Frogs.
Oh, toads are too big to crawl?
Toads are too big to. I've never seen a toad climb something.
All right.
They can hop, but they like barely hop.
I learned so much from you guys.
Well, I'm kind of making this up as I'm talking here, but I've never seen a toad climb, and I've never
Bobby
seen a toad.
teaches me yachtwear. Travis teaches me about toads.
Yeah, all your amphibian needs. I can't imagine now that you said that, like those Cuban tree frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get those?
I've seen one before.
Oh, we have them.
They're huge.
Yeah, we get them they'll eat the baby frog, the little native green tree frogs. They'll eat them.
Wow.
And so they'll like get in my boat, like in the seat
Oh, really?
holders and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And you can't get them out. You can look down there and see like 2 or 3 sets of eyes. But they'll get gigantic and they'll eat everything. So I can't imagine, like, if you got one of those in a tackle shop, like, what would it do to your crickets? It could get in there and just annihilate them.
Yeah.
Because it could get in there.
Wow. Because they can crawl.
Yeah. And they get huge.
You'd have to hunt one. Speaking of hunting things, so good old Pinellas County, we got at our corporate offices, which is also our boat building warehouse, we have a very large raccoon.
Okay.
And when we moved in there, we started doing the corporate office thing, and it wasn't really a problem, but there might have been a few mice around,
Yep.
Rats probably, and so we hired a new bookkeeper, and to say she wasn't very enthused about the rat noise above her desk in the ceiling is an understatement. So she is a big cat person, so she got a cat. So we got a cat to chase away the mice.
Sure.
Now there's cat food there, so now we've got a raccoon problem. And she's like a big animal lover, so definitely she works with a nonprofit to rehabilitate squirrels.
Okay.
This is the type of person we're dealing with.
So the raccoon is safe.
So the raccoon is very safe.
All right.
It was very safe. So for the last 3 weeks, she's been trying to trap it and humanely relocate it. Now she's to the point where she's ready for a gun and hunting season on this raccoon.
Okay.
So she's gone to the dark side.
Excellent. I love seeing people converted.
Isn't that awesome? So she wants camouflage. She's going to set up there one night.
She's going to snipe the raccoon.
Dude, it's been
She's pulling covert ops on the raccoon.
It's been such an evolution. I think this is us. Yeah.
Radio Show presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show this morning in the beautiful iHeartMedia Empire Studios with my good buddy, Captain Travis Thompson from All Florida. We're talking fishing and answering questions and hanging out this morning on this gorgeous Saturday morning, getting ready for a beautiful week ahead, enjoying this clean, clear, crisp water while it lasts before this rain muddies things up a little bit. And looking forward to a great summer. Killer fishing going on right now. If you have a question, if you have a fishing report, bring it. Give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. Speaking of callers, we've got our good friend, Captain Mike from Big Pine Key on the line. Sorry for the wait this morning, Captain Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Travis, Dylan. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well, my
Doing great.
friend. Enjoying the little cooler breeze this morning. It was a nice little surprise.
Yeah, the humidity in the Keys is actually down a little bit, so I figured you guys had a little bit of even better temperature this morning. So, no, things are good. Fishing's good. I heard the question, very good question
Good.
about full moon fishing for mahi. I kind of cheat. I have the new Simrad technology that shows me all the upwellings. It shows me all the surface temps. And I have found that during the full moon, a day or two before to a day or two after, when that light is as high as it can get, we push off into the Atlantic a little more. And I'm looking for where the Gulf Stream pushes in towards the coast a little, as close as it can. It seems that the water temperatures in those pockets are in the 78 to 82 range, and I'm looking for warmer water for the bigger mahi. Also, if you're going to troll for them during that time, you want to slow your troll down. You don't want to obviously eliminate everything, but you want to slow down as slow as you can. If you're fishing like skirted baits with ballyhoo on them, you want those staying down in the water as much as you can instead of skipping. So you want those baits to stay in the water. Also, too, when I'm trolling during those times, one thing mahi like to eat is small mahi. So you want to get your bait colors the color of mahi. Rapala makes a fantastic trolling lure that looks like a mini mahi.
Those X-Wrap
I've
magnums.
gotten to the point exactly the X-Wrap. You get. I've put 4 of them across the back at different depth, different distances from the boat, and trolled just those and had great luck on, and I'm sure they're looking for 10, 12, 13 pounder plus fish instead of the chicken dolphin, like you said. And then the other trick too, one more trick you can do is you get near those weed lines or weed mats. Instead of live bait, do the tuna chunking method with ballyhoo.
Yeah.
When we do it, we get fresh ballyhoo and we cut them up and start a little chum line, and they'll find them. And usually, like I said last week, those bigger ones will be in the back.
So it sounds like they're a little bit lazier and lethargic around the full moon. They're getting plenty of other food, so you got to use like the dead bait method, keep the skirted plugs in the water, kind of like fishing for redfish in the summertime.
And looking for those thermal changes.
Yeah, exactly. And you hit it on the head when you said to them during the full moon, the everything is active. They're feeding. But the one thing about mahi versus other fish is if you find them, they're going to eat. It's during the full moon is finding them, and you've got to push off the coast. You've got to get over 500-600 foot of water, not the 250, 300. And you'll find chicken dolphin. You find some stray big ones, but you want to push off, and you want to start looking in 500 foot of water.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you answering that question.
That was a pretty solid answer, too.
Yeah, lots of golden nuggets. So what's going on down there? As far as right now, what are you seeing?
Well, we are seeing plenty of mahi. It is that time of year. Everybody wants to catch them and keep them and grill them up and do whatever they do with them. Blackfin tuna, the occasional wahoo. But like I told Mike Mahoney a couple weeks ago, I really think the big wahoo bite is actually in the Gulf from Tampa Bay north all the way to Venice.
Yeah.
I really believe that this time of year, if you want to you want a stellar wahoo. The Gulf is off of Tampa Bay all the way north to Venice, Louisiana, and up that way. That's where you want to go to get yourself a big wahoo.
My buddy in West,
of course,
Louisiana sent me a photo yesterday. He had 28 wahoo in a 6-hour trip.
well,
Oh my God!
there you go.
Oh my gosh!
They do it right up there. Go ahead.
That answered that.
Yeah, for sure.
And the bottom fishing, real quick, always been good. Mutton snapper, beeliners, you name it. I can't name them all. You want to go deep dropping. You're trying to stay away from certain ones that are closed, but, always the tile fish and everything like that. So plenty of fish. Yellowtailing's going great. Nothing better than a whole yellowtail stuffed with lobster meat.
Oh.
And, of course, folks, we're coming up on lobster season here. It's trucking in real soon, so that'll be coming. And one more thing, guys, before I get off here, Dylan, Mike was there. I'm hoping to see you guys at ICAST.
Yes, sir.
And this year's kind of special for me. My wife has never been, and she's a fishing junkie, and she turned to me weeks ago and said, "You think I could go this year?" And I said,
Nice.
"Oh boy." Yeah, well, got to temper the happy hour time, that's for sure. With the license.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to introducing a rookie to ICAST. So
Awesome, man.
I'll see you guys at ICAST.
All right,
right.
brother.
Look forward to it. I'll be glad to finally meet you.
You won't see Travis. He's a celebrity at ICAST. He travels with an entourage.
No.
You have to book an appointment. It's really tough to
none
get
of
in
that
with
shit.
Travis.
I'll look for the guy with the shotgun over one shoulder and the fishing rod in his hand.
There you
That's
go.
what I'll look for.
Well,
you guys have a great day.
You as well, my friend.
Captain
Thanks for
Mike.
calling.
All right. Have a good day, guys. God bless, and happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Bye-bye.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Land of the free because of the brave. Definitely don't want to forget that this weekend. The reason for the season, right?
You got that right.
Yeah, definitely want to keep that in the forefront of our minds as we move through this busy holiday weekend. And as we mentioned, redfish and snook, there's a lot of good fishing going on right now. And he had me thinking about yellowtail and that stuffed
He had me
lobster.
thinking about breakfast, is what he had me thinking about.
Yeah, a whole yellowtail stuffed with lobster sounds like a great breakfast.
Never had that, but I'm here for it.
You stuff food into other foods?
Here
I'm
for
about that life.
And if any of those foods are yellowtail and lobster,
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Those are two great foods on their own.
exactly.
Combining them seems like a good plan.
Yellowtail's going great around our area, too. We're seeing a lot of yellowtail, even near shore, as shallow as 80, 90, 100 foot. We're
Really?
seeing some really good yellowtail in high numbers and really good concentrations. And then moving out deeper, we're seeing even more yellowtail and some pretty large sizes as we approach 200 foot of water. So anywhere from 100 to 200 foot plus, we're seeing good numbers of yellowtail snappers. So great opportunities to capitalize there and seeing a big shift of a lot of those species, even mutton snapper. We've been seeing a lot of mutton snapper lately. We're seeing more schoolmasters. What's ironic is on Don's Dock, which is a pretty large dock complex inside Johns Pass, and it's the furthest east on the Johns Pass boardwalk, so closer inshore. They caught about a 14 to 15-inch schoolmaster the other day fishing
No kidding.
shrimp off the dock, which is crazy, man, because, I mean, growing up, I never saw a schoolmaster. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I had to be taught what they were the first time I seen one. And it seems like the last 5 years, they've become more and more common. We've seen lane snapper get
I was
bigger.
going to say, have you seen any
Lane snappers, I mean, their spatial distribution is exponentially grown. I mean, when I was younger, we saw lane snapper maybe 60, 70 foot of water up to maybe about 100, 110 foot. Now we're seeing them at the bridge at Johns Pass all the way to almost 180 foot of water.
Do you attribute that to just some kind of strange shift in ecology, or do you attribute it to fisheries management, or a little bit of both? Or
I attribute it mostly to the batch of spawns that snappers do in general, whether it's yellowtail snapper, mangrove snapper, red snapper, and lane snapper, and the proliferation of red snapper, I think, and also the depressions of grouper species. When the red grouper and gag grouper populations get depressed, we see these big uptakes in recruitment in different other snapper species.
Because they're not being fed on it as juveniles?
A lane snapper is a very highly prized red grouper bait. I mean, you can't use them for bait. It's illegal. But you see a lot of red groupers spitting up lanes or filleting them up.
Gotcha.
And you see the small juvenile lanes. So I think, personally, when you see those grouper populations get depressed, you see the big snapper populations explode. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Plus, when you have these big, huge breeding populations of red snapper, all those other snapper species start breeding along with those big batch spawns, and it just kind of creates synergy, I think.
Do they all spawn around the same time of year? I know, like, I'm more of a mangrove inshore guy. Like, I know that those, was it August, September, October, you start to see them spawn.
Yeah, but a lot of the snapper species, they're finding more and more batch spawners where they can spawn multiple times a year, and they don't really have necessarily a spawning season specifically. Red snapper have always historically believed to be kind of summertime spawners. Most snapper species are, but they can even have eggs and be spawning outside of that period as well. So
Gotcha.
I think what it is one species starts to get into that spawning aggregation.
And everything starts to spawn?
Everything starts to spawn with them, I think. And you see that more with more of the hybrid species, right? Because we see more often now some of those like hybrid lanes, vermilions, or yellowtails, red snapper, or these different mixed hybrid snappers that we didn't historically see as often. Now we see them more commonly.
All right, I'll give you this. I don't know how close we are to a break, but I wonder if there's something to, like, I know that in cervids, like hoofed animals, there's a thing called predator swamping, where, like, say all the elk in an area will drop all their fawns within a really short period of time, and all the wolves, panthers, cougars, etc., will come in there and just gorge. But the elk drops so many that the species survives, and nature kind of orchestrates them to all drop their at the same time. It makes me wonder if there's something to that, like what you're saying, like it's almost predator swamping.
Oh, like the red snappers started spawning, so the lane snappers are like, spawns. Let's go, guys, it's time.
I don't know. Nature's pretty smart and unique in that stuff, so it makes me wonder if there's an opportunity where that gets triggered, like you're saying, and they do a batch spawn because predation, they know that they can survive in it.
That's really interesting. I bet there's something to that.
We'll have to ask a scientist.
Yeah. Hopefully someone will call in. And we'll talk more about that on the other side. We definitely got more of the show left this morning. We got our Jack Wagon of the Week segment coming up after the 7 o'clock hour. Give us a call if you want to join the conversation. 1-800-969-9352. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Predator swamping.
That makes sense. And what they found is where they have these historical spawning aggregations, Dr. Will Heyman from LGL is doing a lot of studies on them, and they've put cameras in these areas. And what's really interesting is the species will go in there and create a spawning aggregation and spawn out. And as soon as that spawning aggregation dissipates, another species aggregates.
Really?
Starts spawning. So I wonder if there is something to that. Like a steady stream of eggs and juveniles.
The opposite of predator swamping is a predator pit. And I feel like...
Okay, what's that?
A predator pit is when it inverses the trophic... I don't know if it's trophic or not, but it inverses it depresses the population. So you have more predators than offspring can compete with. And so... You could argue in an area like the Everglades, like with invasive pythons, alligators, which are native, but now we brought back panthers, and now crocodiles. Now we brought back panthers. Now we brought back bears. There's a time of year when bears will exclusively feed on fawns. They'll eat berries the rest of the year, nuts and berries, but for March, April, they'll feed exclusively on fawns. So you almost create a predator pit.
There's too many predators,
and the deer can't keep up with them. And so they cannot swamp them.
Management's important.
Super important. Ecologically.
You're saying we need to kill
I'm
some
not
black bears.
saying that at all.
Is that what I'm hearing?
That's not what I said. I think there's a big conversation around that, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that either. I Was that political enough for me to sidestep?
I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that. Black bears are one of those issues you don't want to take a stand on, what we're trying to tell you.
I don't mind taking a stand on it. It's just such a nuanced conversation that, like, everyone gets really binary over it, and it gets really complex.
Like spraying.
Like, yeah.
Like invasive plant
I tend to
management.
find, like, pelicans, I tend to find myself in those conversations a lot. The
Pelicans, plant management, black bears.
yeah, those are the big three for me. Oh, God.
Ooh, dragging his Dorado to Fort DeSoto boat ramp.
Nice.
That should be fun.
The wind's going to lay down later?
Supposed to be, let's see, by 11 a.m. it's supposed to be calming down. But really, even right now, it's not bad. They're forecasting 16 knots. You got 49 seconds. But they're forecasting 16 knots. It's only 13 knot gusts right now, with blowing 10 knots steady at the Reddington buoy. Winds out of the northeast.
My wife always likes to go out this time of year on the boat, like you were talking about. I try to stay away from Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, 4th of July weekend. Like,
yeah,
so many people on the water.
It's 2.6 foot at Egmont Key right now, so a little bumpy offshore.
But that's supposed to lay.
Mm-hmm. Supposed to be about 1.5 foot for a majority of the day today.
Oh,
so
man.
It's supposed to be dropping fast. And then less than 2 foot through the period, so looks good. It must be after this.
Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, y'all. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Want to make sure we give a shout out to our friends over there at Affordable Roofing. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through that important process. They're defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call them at 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Definitely good people over there. They helped our friend out down in Southwest Florida behind Ian. Even though they couldn't make it down there themselves, they provided plenty of information to our good buddy Bob the Builder and was able to figure it out on his own, build his own roof.
Yeah, he got it done,
Re-roof
too.
himself.
He got it done.
Yeah, I'm impressed. He can dress in yacht wear, catch tarpon, and build roofs.
Does it all. And donate cricket pens, cricket cages.
Yeah, our good friend Captain Bobby Woodard always keeps us on our toes. So definitely clean, clear water. Bite's going really well. Seems like a lot of people are heading out in the water today to enjoy that beautiful mid-morning, afternoon time frame. Keep your eye on those afternoon thunderstorms. We are in that time of year. Rain chances are pretty low for the first half of the work week, though, so hopefully we'll get away from that a little bit, and people will have a chance to enjoy this beautiful Memorial Day weekend. The water is super clean, so if you're trying to get out there and go fishing, lighter tackle has been key. I mean, just incredible clean water. It's like an aquarium at John's Pass right now.
Start lower and work your way up if you're getting breakoffs.
Exactly. You can't, what was the quote of the day? I think it was Jason Preto said you can't lose it, or maybe it was Bobby. You can't lose a fish you don't hook.
Yeah.
So you got to use that lighter tackle to get the bite. But then you can get broke off if you use too light a tackle. So, but you can't lose a fish you didn't hook.
But then you know if they're feeding her. When I used to run a lot of tarpon trips, man, there were days. This sounds crazy. There were days I'd go down to a 30-pound leader to see if I could get a fish to jump.
Yeah.
And okay, now we know that they are feeding. Let's go up and see if we can hold one on.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah, got to get to it slowly, work your way into them. We've got Captain Jim Fogel on the line for our Milwaukee Tools Safe Boating Tip of the Week. How are you doing this morning, Captain Jim?
Hey, Captain Jim.
I'm wonderful. How are you guys?
Another day in paradise,
Doing
my
great.
friend.
Good. Listen, got a couple of things today.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, Coast Guard has already been very busy last night and this morning. People should be wary if they're going offshore. It is not a smooth day out there today. Most of the wave action is 3 foot plus. Winds are projected to be 15 to 20. So if you're a smaller boat, don't go out there. Just stay home today. I mean, it's leftover residual stuff coming, off the Gulf in the last couple of days in those storms and things. But don't be silly about this just because it's supposed to be a nice day today and it's a holiday. So, be smart when you're going out today.
Good advice.
Second thing, and when they're busy as heck like this, I mean, they've only got so much manpower. So, you want to make sure that radio's working, perform a radio check before you leave the dock, and make sure you've got your PLB or your EPIRB and everything's working properly before you go out today.
Amen.
Second thing I want to talk about, Dylan, we talked about a little bit in the past, is anchor watch. Okay? We were talking about whether or not if you were anchored at night or anchored anytime, and you were sleeping, you had your radar on, whatever, should you still maintain a lookout? Okay.
Yep.
Rule 5, Coast Guard Rule 5 says every vessel shall at all times maintain a proper lookout by sight and hearing, as well as by all other available means appropriate to the conditions that are going on at the time. That means always a lookout. We found no exception to that rule, even at anchor. Okay, so the smart mariner is going to have his radar on with his proximity alarm set for 5+ miles, especially if you're way outside. You need time to move if it looks like it's going to be a problem.
Amen.
And, there was a boat not long ago that saw another boat that was anchored, saw another boat approaching, but figured, oh, well, he's just going to steal our numbers, and then he's going to go on by. Well.
Yeah, and we know how that ended.
He's asleep in the other boat. Yeah. If he's asleep in the other boat and he's autopilot on, it ain't gonna be nice.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, Captain Jim, we're up against the break, man, but we appreciate your safe boating tip as always.
Well, thank you very much, Captain Dillon. Captain Travis, you guys have a great weekend for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel, be safe out there.
Thanks, my
Captain
friend.
Jim.
Appreciate it as always. Real Animals Radio will be right back for the Jack Wagon of the Week. Don't miss out.
The program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Casting live from the Farah and Farah Accident Attorney Studios.
Other stuff?
No, not really. No. It gets annoying. Why?
Because I don't either.
Yeah.
They drive me crazy.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, the live show, I wear headphones if someone calls in, but we don't have people call in very often. And as soon as they're done with the call, I take them off immediately.
We were on a call the other day with FWC, and somebody had on, the old school headphone, like the headphones with the microphone deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Are we about to play snipers on Carrington, or like what's happening here?" Oh man,
Snipers on Carrington. Yeah, it's funny on those on the video calls when people come in with the big earphones and the microphone down in the face.
Land a 747 or
Yeah.
talking about grouper regulations.
COVID has changed a lot of things in the old virtual meetings and seeing where people log in from, and it's always very interesting.
Yeah. The backgrounds and everything else.
And what's always funny to me is like those fishery meetings, you don't know if they're going to be meetings where the cameras are on or not.
Right.
And so sometimes I'll log in assuming there's not going to be a camera option. But the state meetings, they'll get you. A lot of times the state meetings, there is a camera option.
Yeah.
So I've learned now if there's less than 20 people on the invite list and it's a state meeting, most of the time the cameras are going to be on.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas
What's
like
your
federal
strategy?
meetings, there's never a camera on.
What's your strategy there? Is it like, okay, I need to have a hat on with my logo on it, or I need to have a shirt on that looks decent, or I need to have a shirt on period, or like, what's your strategy there? I
don't have a strategy. I used to try to like be in my captain's shirt and try to put on the front, but nowadays I get in there and do whatever. I used to have more of a strategical approach, but with time I've just relaxed and let it be what it is. Plus all my captain shirts are now not fitting me very well, so I need to get some new ones. Plus it's tough, man. I went from those like Columbia, I had a lot of the hook shirts, not hook shirts, I forget the brand, but like AFCO style captain shirts, and they're not the most comfortable shirts. And I started wearing t-shirts, and now it's hard to go back.
Yeah, I agree.
It's real hard to go back once you get comfortable.
I'm into the ponchos. Have you seen those? It's a brand. It's called Poncho.
No.
They're expensive, but I really like them. They're really comfortable.
Yeah.
Really comfortable. Really well thought out shirt. Nice. And they're like a Columbia or anything else, but they just, I don't know. Their fit is better for me.
I'll have to check those out. Poncho.
But I have to get them for Christmas or something because they're expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive shirts.
Like,
they used to be like $60. Now they're like $80.
Yeah, that's what these are. These are like $75, $80.
Jeez.
But I took a couple to the local embroidery shop to get our logo put on them. Because then they look nice for like a meeting or something. But exactly. you're not.
Yeah.
The other big thing about that is this is less important for you, but as someone in inner Florida, they also make a Western style with the pearl snaps.
Oh, there you go.
As a tastemaker, fashionista as myself, obviously.
Fashionista. Definitely fashionista. That's how I would brand us as well.
Yeah. Trendsetters. There you go. Bobby just texted us. Pearl snaps are Imperial Polk County.
I honestly don't know what a pearl snap is.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about.
What's a pearl snap?
You're like a 15th generation Floridian, and here you are. You don't know what a pearl snap is.
I don't. I'm gonna have to Google it. I guess
it's a button. It's got like a pearl in the out. So instead of the button going through,
I'm a multi-generational Floridian, but we've always been on the coast.
It snaps.
Oh, okay. So it's like button snaps.
It snaps.
Okay, so it's a snap button with a pearl.
On the front, it looks like mother of pearl.
Oh. All right. So that's like a Floridian shirt?
It's like a cowboy type shirt.
All right. Because we can't wear buttons?
No, it's just...
Dude, I Googled pearl snaps, and the first website that came up was Poncho.
See? They're listening, dude. They know what's up. I should have muted these microphones.
Travis's favorite company.
I gotta deal with them.
Man, there's a lot of pearls on that shirt.
It looks sharp, doesn't it? Oh, I got one.
Fancy.
I'll have one at ICAST. You'll see me. See? Everybody. Donald just chimed in on the feed. He said country western. That's exactly right. It's old school. It's old school, but it's making a comeback.
Yeah. Dude, I know what you're talking about because what's his face? Rip in Yellowstone, he wears those pearl snap shirts.
There you go.
Yeah, the black pearl snap shirts. And that's what's made it come back, man. Everybody wants to be a cowboy now.
On Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
Bro.
I got to watch it.
It's a real good show. I like it. I haven't been keeping up with it. I watched like the first season or second season. It was awesome. That's how you know it's us. We got the disclaimer going.
Voyage into Florida fishing, presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
You know you got a good show when they have a disclaimer.
No telling what these guys will say.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. It gets me in the mood. Just sets the mood right and just gets you excited for the Real Animals radio show. You just never know what you might hear. So iHeart has to throw in the old disclaimer, make sure they make it clear they don't agree with what we're about to say. It's awesome. Captain Dylan Hubbard here from Hubbard's Marina. We got Captain Travis Thompson from All Florida, and we are talking fishing this morning. But it is time right now for the Jack Wagon of the Week, and I'm going to let my special guest, Captain Travis, take it away for Jack Wagon of the Week segment.
Yeah, because I asked the question, like, have we ever done a Jack Wagon of the Week that wasn't for the week before, but is like in preparation, like a pre-Jack Wagon?
Yes, we're preloading this Jack Wagon of the Week.
So here's what I think the Jack Wagon of the Week should be is boat ramp guy.
Memorial Day boat ramp guy.
Memorial Day bad boat ramp etiquette. Like, so don't be that guy. Like when you roll up to the boat ramp, like you've got the wife, you got the kids, couple things, man. Like, before you leave the house, if you haven't cranked your boat since last August, go ahead and fire it up on the muffs. Make sure it'll run. Make sure everything's good. When you get there and you get in line, go ahead and unhook the straps. I mean, you don't have to unhook the winch if you're worried you're going to fall off the trailer, but go ahead and unhook all the other safety straps and stuff. Get your transom mount off and all that junk.
While you're in line.
Yeah, okay. Get ready so that when you get up there, all you got to do, put your plug in. Pro tip here. I know that seems superfluous. But put your plug in, flip your battery on. Just be ready to roll so that when you get up there, you can drop it in. You know, if it takes you longer than, man, how egregious can we be here? I think it should take you about 2 minutes at the ramp. But if it takes you longer than 10, like we're getting excessive. And this is the time of year. Now, the other thing I'll say is don't be a jackwagon and be overtly impatient. Everybody's wanting to go out and have a good time, and stuff does go wrong, but also, let's try to all get on the same team here and do our homework before we get there so we don't have a bunch of jack wagons lining up.
All right. 2 to 10 minutes is the safety point.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Like, I feel like I'm really efficient, but I've done it a lot. And I have a nice trailer. I have a nice trailer, and a good trailer can make or break boat ramp days. You said you're not a big boat ramp guy. Like, you've always launched from the marina, so you're not, you have, but you're not a big boat ramp guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much. My boat ramp etiquette is everybody go in front of me because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. And that's fair. And I think that's another point of boat ramp etiquette, right? Like if you know it's going to take you a minute and you got 15 kids, you got to get them all out and get their life jackets on and stuff. I get that, and everybody will understand. Just kind of be cognizant of what's going on.
Yeah. Last time I was at a boat ramp, we were launching a 55-foot pontoon boat with an F-150.
Oh, God.
At a ramp that we shouldn't have been on. So we definitely let everybody in front of us.
Yeah, that's not boat ramp etiquette.
Yeah.
I've always joked, and I'm sure there's people who do this. I've always joked that, like, this time of year, you should just go post up at the boat ramp and charge $20 to load and unload people's boats.
Well, we have a booth at the Fort DeSoto boat ramp right there at Fort DeSoto County Park, and we have a booth for our Shell Key and Egmont Key ferries. And this week we have power being supplied to our booth, and very shortly thereafter, once the trench and conduit's laid, we're going to hopefully have some internet brought to that booth. So very shortly thereafter, we are going to have a streaming computer and a webcam.
Oh, wow.
So that's my end goal for 2024 is have a boat ramp, Fort DeSoto boat ramp live webcam. If Fort DeSoto's county park, if Pinellas County will allow.
Have you ever seen a car?
But it would be pretty epic, right?
Have you ever seen a car submerged to the boat ramp?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Many a time.
Many a times. You ever seen a boat submerged to the boat ramp?
Not yet.
I've rolled up on that as well.
No plug?
Actually, it was during duck season. I rolled up to a boat ramp one time. You know how the duck boats will sometimes have like the headlights on the front?
Yeah.
Like the big spotlights? Mm-hmm. I rolled up and I thought, why is that guy just sitting at the end of the ramp? And his boat was sitting on the bottom of the ramp.
Oh, wow.
And what had happened is there was a north wind and it was a south ramp, and it came over the back, and they just let it slide off. While that was happening, another boat got sideways and pitch poled and filled up with water as well and sunk.
Wow.
And I'm like, my clients are due here in like 20 minutes. Like, you guys want to get this stuff out of the way? I didn't say that. I thought it, though. But we ended up, like, I had to cancel my trip because I couldn't put in.
Because there were so many boats
There were
sunk
so
at the
many
ramp.
boats sunk at the ramp.
Wow. Oh, man. Don't be that guy. Don't be a boat ramp guy.
Yeah, don't be the boat ramp jackwagon
All right.
on either side of that conversation. That's jackwagon of the week.
Don't be impatient and make sure you're prepared.
Yes.
I like it. Very clear and concise. So with that, we've got some callers on the line. We've got Captain Gene from Reeling Freedom. How you doing this morning, Captain Gene?
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Doing good, man. Sounds like you're heading offshore.
I am actually on my computer.
Uh-oh. We can't hear you, my friend. Try to tuck in from that wind.
Listen. All right, hold on. Is that better?
That's a little better. That's a lot better. Yes,
hold on,
sir.
let me turn off.
Oh, man.
Turn off this roof.
He's running right now offshore in a kingfish boat.
There you are.
What's up, man?
Hey, that's a little better, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, you talk about those boat ramps. Those boat ramps are fun. I mean, they're a blast. All you need is a lawn chair and a case of beer. Just sit there and watch.
That
It's
sounds
great.
like a plan.
Great. Hey, while you're launching those boats this weekend, cracking open that beer or turning on your barbecue, remember why we're able to do this. It's the men and women we lost throughout the years. Memorial Day weekend, just remember them, because we wouldn't be able to do it without them, for sure.
Amen to that.
For sure.
Yep, the
But
reason
we have
for the
our
season.
bottom brawl coming up in June 24th. It's a snapper slam out of sponsored by Hooters, out of the Hooters in Port Richey.
Awesome.
You can go to reelingfreedom.org to sign up, and it helps us get as many veterans on the water as possible. And that's always our goal here at Reeling Freedom.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Bottom brawl. So how would you sign up for that again? Through the website?
Yeah, just go to reelingfreedom.org. It's the second link right at the top. Get signed up. We have a nice tackle bag full of stuff to give away if you sign up before June 17th.
Awesome.
June 17th.
Well, we appreciate it, man.
Come out and see us, support us, and we appreciate your support and Real Animal support over the years. It's just fantastic. Thank you.
Hey, we appreciate you, and thanks for all you do getting veterans out there on the water, and thanks for calling us on this special Memorial Day weekend, my friend.
Absolutely. Just remember. I remember.
Stay safe out there.
Will do.
See you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
He's getting right back into that run.
Yeah, absolutely.
He took it off a plane for that phone call. We've got Peter Clark from Tampa Bay Watch talking tarpon, right? You got a tarpon tournament coming up, right, Peter?
We do, Captain Dillon. It's called the Tampa Bay Tarpon Rodeo, and we've been running it for about 18 years here out of Fort DeSoto area.
Nice. That should be a lot of fun.
It is. It's a great event, and we use the proceeds from the Tampa Bay Tarpon Rodeo to help us with our habitat restoration projects that we work on around Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Watch has a lot of habitat restoration projects going on, and you guys have always done such a great job. So really cool way to get involved and to help raise some funds for Tampa Bay Watch is getting involved in their Tampa Bay Tarpon Roundup. How would someone learn about that tarpon tournament and get some more information, maybe perhaps sign up?
You bet. Best way is go to our website, tampabaywatch.org. And we have a number of categories. The one that is still available is for people with individual boats to participate in the sport division. The guided division is already full, if you can believe that already. But
wow.
It's a very, very popular event, and we're anticipating upwards of around 35 boats to participate this year.
That's awesome, man.
Congrats.
That's really great. So
Yeah.
Hopefully more people
And
will
that's
get
on
involved.
June 16th.
June 16th.
June 16th.
Okay.
And all the dollars are returned right back into habitat restoration that benefits fisheries in the bay.
Excellent.
So June 16th is the weigh-in, and if you weren't a part of the tournament, you could probably just show up and hang out at the weigh-in and see who won and also take part in the raffles and stuff too, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, and the awards banquet is at Island Grill Restaurants, and it starts at 12 o'clock. But we do have a shotgun start at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is really dynamic, as you know. There's so much fun to do.
So shotgun start at 7 a.m. and then noon is the award ceremony. I always call them weigh-ins, but obviously we're not going to be weighing in tarpon.
I was going to ask about the weigh-in of tarpon, but I figured we'd just gloss past that.
You were going to overlook that I said it that way?
I was going to say, no, that's not happening. We'll just slide by it.
I just always have called them that. But nowadays, there's not a lot of tournaments that have weigh-ins. It's always photo release.
No, it's good.
It's great.
Exactly right. It's a photo catch and release tournament all the way.
Awesome, man. So TampaBayWatch.org is the best way to find the information, you said?
You bet.
Awesome, man. We appreciate
it.
You're the man. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate your time this morning. Look forward to seeing everybody on the water.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for all you guys do over there at Tampa Bay Watch. Really, really great organization. They have so many different habitat restoration projects on the docket. We have actually one of our FGA board members involved over there, don't we? Charlie Howe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a good organization. They do seagrass restoration, oyster bed restoration. They have a lot of different projects going on. So definitely check them out, TampaBayWatch.org, to get involved in the Tampa Bay Tarpon Roundup. Always a cool thing, those shotgun starts, seeing all them boats take off.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that would be fun to watch for sure. Definitely, especially all the tarpon guide boats. They're all going to be racing in Fort DeSoto right to the same spot.
Yeah, we could drop a pin to where probably most of them will be posted up within 300 yards of each other.
Yeah, either Bean Point or right there on the north side of Egmont Key in the hole.
Yep.
It's a race to two places. That'll be interesting.
It'll be fun, and it'll raise money for a great cause.
Amen to that. That's what it's all about. Trying to get more funding for that habitat restoration and hopefully continue to make Tampa Bay as clear as it's been. Man, absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
Mind-numbingly. But we've got more on the other side. If you want to join the conversation, if you have a fishing question, fishing report, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jeff Shreve, and I invite you to...
Yep, tarpon weigh-in.
Yeah, man. I was like, wait.
What did he say?
We're doing a dragon hang, like, or is that what we're doing here? We're just gonna, we're gonna just hang them off the end of the dock. Like, how are we gonna do that? Doesn't feel like
How about you learn to back up a trailer before you go to the boat ramp? That seems important.
So this is, my wife and I used to work together in IT, and we had a little trailer, an 8-foot enclosed trailer for all of our gear. And
Wait, all of your gear. What do you mean?
Because we did like towers and stuff like that.
So you had all that Ethernet cable and stuff.
And anyway, I taught her to back that 8-foot trailer.
Nice.
So with a boat, you know, what's my boat's a 21-foot boat. Like, what is that trailer? 25, maybe. Like, that's way easier than an 8-foot trailer.
Yeah.
And so she can hold her own at the boat ramp with most folks.
Yeah.
And that always makes people scratch their head when you got this cute little girl getting out and she just like
whipped
dominated it. Yeah.
That's always impressive to see.
Yeah. So I've got an advantage there because I always have a co-pilot, even if I'm with my family. So I can drop her off. She can go grab the truck, and we can be out of there in minutes.
Yeah. And like Mike says, he uses his power pole, so he'll drop the boat in and use the power pole remote. So he'll drop his boat in and let it drift off the trailer and power pull it down and then go park his truck and come back to the boat. That's interesting. Yeah, with all those remotes, I mean, essentially you could let your boat float off, power pull it down, and then bring the power poles up and use the trolling motor to bring the boat back to you.
Have you seen, probably someone online seen this, have you seen that video of the dude that has the push pole with the loop? And he slides it off and that loop catches on a cleat and it just, I'm like, that guy is next level.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy you want in front of you at the ramp.
Yes, exactly. Or like the big billfish tournaments where the 60-foot Vikings racing in to beat the clock. I watched a video yesterday. Yeah, and the water's coming over the stern. He's backing in, and he pivots, and he just lands perfectly on the dock. Man.
The other thing that I think maybe I was a little harsh on the boat. I wasn't that harsh because I kept it clean because we were on the radio. But like you go to a ramp like Cockroach, if you're by yourself, you dump your boat, and you got a mile to go drop your truck off and then walk back.
Oh, wow.
Like parking sometimes is
a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge in the getting out of the way part.
Wow. That would be a challenge. What do you do in that situation?
You wait. I mean, you slide your boat out of the way a little bit, but there's some rocks there and stuff. And I haven't put in a Cockroach in a long time, but your boat, I mean, your truck could be a mile away and it's going to get broken into. So it's kind of a lot of unredeeming qualities there.
You might lose a Cadillac converter.
Oh my gosh. I can't tell you. I know I've pulled up there at least twice and there was a car like burned out.
Burned out?
Like the car had just been set on fire.
Wow. They stole a catalytic converter. Catalytic Cadillac converter. Catalytic. Whatever you want to call it.
Someone told me years ago, you just leave your car unlocked there because people are going to break into it. And if you leave it unlocked, you don't have to get your windows replaced. I don't know if that's true or not. And like I said, I haven't fished there in a long time, but it used to be pretty sketch.
Oh, man. I did that the other night. My truck was all cleaned out. I was like, I'll just leave it unlocked. That always makes me nervous.
Always makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure you're like me. Do you have your coolers locked in your truck?
Like coolers locked? No. Because I only have a big cooler in the back, and it's so heavy. It would take 3 people to lift it out.
This is the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Sorry to disappoint. No Captain Mike this morning. You're stuck with me, Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina. We got my good friend, Captain Travis Thompson from All Florida, my fellow Florida Guides Association board member. And we are chatting fishing this morning and answering questions and just enjoying your fishing reports. If you want to give us a call and join the conversation, 1-800-969-9352 is the number. The first voice you'll hear is our good friend Jason behind the glass. Jason Behringer making us sound pretty this morning and making things run smooth for us as well. And no callers on the line right now, so we got a chance to chat a little bit about what's going on right now. We just came out of a nice little interesting workshop there at the FWC with the Pelican situation is still ever evolving at the Skyway Fishing Pier, and the Florida Guides Association board was on that recent virtual meeting. And it's interesting to see kind of the evolution of this thing, and it's kind of coming to a head in July.
It's going to be in July, and it's interesting to me. Like, none of us ever want restrictions on fishing,
exactly.
Right? Like none of us. 6a-8a, ASA, All Florida, FGA. None of us want restrictions on fishing. But this is one of those issues where a rule is going to get made. We can either influence the rule in our favor, or we can sit back and let the rule just be
ran over
almost
us.
Punitive, and I don't mean that against the agency, but just in general. And so I really am proud, kind of like our coalition has gotten in there and rattled some cages, and we know there's going to be a rule. We know there's going to be restrictions, and none of us ever want to see pelicans die. Like, I mean, you see pelicans all the time at your marina, and you enjoy seeing them, but also they're a pest.
Yeah.
Like they get in there and they will harass. They learn, they condition really quickly.
Yeah, and they actually they get habituated really quickly.
Yep.
And they can be not only a pest, but they can also be somewhat dangerous. In the cooler months, when they get aggressive, man, they get up on the dock and they will go after people, snap at people's legs, trying to get them to drop their stringer of fish so they can try to steal a good eating gray snapper or a mangrove or a lane or whatever is on the dock. So they can be super challenging, and it's hard to avoid them, especially in areas where they can get congregated or habituated or know that people are going to feed them. And luckily, they've done a great job at the Skyway at trying to cut down on the habituation, meaning people actively, intentionally feeding the birds. So that's good to see, and that's helped a lot. But like you said, a rule is going to get made. The commission, the chairman of the commission wants to see a rule made, and there's a lot of political pressures afoot. So there's going to be a rule made, and essentially they were talking about making it to where you could only have 3 rods in your possession, and they were going to ban certain types of gear all year. They were going to make some really kind of draconian measures.
Yep.
And like you said,
at one time there was a pier closure being discussed.
Yeah.
I mean, not from FWC, but it was in the stakeholder discussions.
Mm-hmm. And now we're at a point where it's only a gear restriction for a very limited amount of time, and for hopefully only certain types of gear, and then also 2 rods in use. So no possession limits now.
So if somebody wanted to stop and catch bait on the way to go on charter or something, they can have all their rods in their truck.
Yeah,
They
you can have 100 rods with you.
Yeah.
But you can only be fishing with 2 at a time.
And in the restriction window, we used. I'm a science drives wildlife management guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can show me science.
Wait. You expect science to drive management?
If you can show me science that said fishing is severely impacting these birds or in this way or whatever, and there's a line for all of us, right? As to what's good science or what's bad. That data, I don't love that data, but I do think it directionally shows there's a peak in pelican entanglements in the dead of winter, right? Like from November through like February, December through February. So we've been receptive to, okay, if we're going to do restrictions, let's do it to this time. And then the other thing that we've all been really adamant about is education for pier fishermen, because I don't think this is our listeners going out there and entangling pelicans. I think this is the snowbird that comes down, hasn't been here all year.
Doesn't know.
Goes and buys a rod and reel at Walmart, goes out there.
Or rents a rod and reel.
Yeah, and doesn't know how to handle that situation when it happens. So I think that's a big problem with it. So education is one thing. The other thing we've pushed really hard on, and I think is locked in, is a sunset to the rule.
Yeah.
Meaning after 2 years, let's evaluate, was this effective or not?
Yeah.
Because there's also, that's a risk to us too. Like what if it's not effective and there's still a lot of entanglements? We may see more restrictions, but at least we'll then understand what the data is.
Yeah. We'll have some good data that we can trust and that has actually been collected by the scientists.
That's exactly right.
So we went from a full year of gear restriction to a very narrow 3, maybe 4 month window. We went from possession limits on numbers of rods to only 2 in use, so no possession limit, and then also the sunset provision where it's only going to be in place for a certain amount of time, like 1.5 years, 2 years, and then during that time they're going to be collecting data. So definitely some huge strides forward, and like you said, we don't want to see anything, but at least what we're going to see is something we can at least somewhat deal with.
That I think people forget.
Positive news.
Yeah, I think people forget sometimes. They think we can just go to these 2 binary positions and make someone figure out like the perfect mean in between it. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You've got to negotiate it and compromise.
But at least we're in a place where we can sleep at night. And we have more on the other side as well. We've got Adam from St. Pete Beach on the line that we're going to get to Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back. Glad we got time to get in there and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation that definitely needed to be had and could go much longer. But it's pretty cool to see people say often, like, oh, you can't make an effect, or they've already made up their minds, and it doesn't matter what you say. But this is a great example of public comment and stakeholder input changing the rules. Because we were going to get run over on this one.
Run over with emotion driving the...
Emotion and subjective causes.
I don't, like I said, I don't know what the numbers are, but if we said, okay, we've saw 10,000 entanglements last year and 7,000 pelican deaths, and it was all attributed to the Skyway, or okay, maybe more draconian measures do need to be looked at then. I'm not saying I'd advocate for that then either, but you've got some science backing it up, some data backing it up. Okay, we can draw a line. This feels to me to be a little bit more emotionally driven.
Yeah, very much so.
You know, there's definitely something to it. It's just not. We don't know what it is. So let's let them put the fire out, and then see where we're at.
Yeah.
See what we know.
And I think the biggest thing that we need to keep reminding people about is just the fact that there's more pelicans than there ever has been, and there's more fishermen than there ever has been. So when you have more pelicans and more fishermen, what do you think is going to happen?
You know, I'm going to say this and get myself in a little bit of trouble probably, but the ESA, the Endangered Species Act, it's a great thing. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
But
it's overused.
At some point, it almost gets leveraged as once an animal's on there, we can never, ever, ever, ever. We don't have metrics for recovery.
Yeah.
And the feds do because we've delisted pelicans now federally, state, but we never can move forward because honestly, I think it's because there's a lot of fundraising around those species. That's what I think.
Charismatic megafauna?
Yep.
Is that what we're getting at?
Yep.
CMF gang?
Yep.
But I think it comes down to the same problem we have in fisheries at the federal level is, all right, so this fisheries experience overfishing, it's overfished. Federal law says, MSA dictates you must rebuild that stock. Rebuild the stock to what?
Right.
That's not dictated in MSA, so then that's argued about. And like, for example, with red snapper, it's not considered overfished. It's not considered undergoing overfishing, but some people would say it's at a level that's too high.
Right. Look at Goliath grouper. When we closed it in 88, 90,
91.
Whatever it was, 91, we never set a threshold for what his recovered looked like.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to bring back some level of fishery, but we're getting pushback from the dive community.
Yeah.
And it's charismatic megafauna, man. There's a lot of fundraising around that stuff.
Yeah.
Get myself way in trouble. There's more manatees in Florida right now than there's ever been.
Yeah.
Like we've probably maximized their carrying capacity in the state.
We're spending almost $30 million to feed them because their carrying capacity is so overcapitalized.
Yeah, and I mean we've created artificial springs with all these power plants where they can go and seek warmth in the winter.
Yeah.
Like we've created more space for manatees.
Yeah.
With man's interference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying we should delist manatees and start hunting them or anything else. That's crazy, right? And marine mammals are always protected. That's a federal thing. But it does become a really strange conversation to have, like, around, well, okay, do we need to keep
spending millions of dollars to feed them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we know in cattle, if I put 5,000 cattle on 20,000 acres and I added another 1,000 cattle, some cattle are going to start dying because there's not enough food there, or I got to supplementally feed them.
Yeah.
We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So go look at the grass in the Indian River Lagoon. Go look at look at the grass in Tampa. What's happening to it? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think there's bigger issues there.
Yeah. I agree.
Send your hate mail to Dylan Hubbard.
CMF gang. We're still working on that T-shirt. I'm going to have pelicans fishing from a pier with a sabiki rig, catching baby manatees.
Oh, my gosh.
With eagles flying around, black bears, eating Chick-fil-A. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great T-shirt. We're still daydreaming about it. It's going to take a lot of good drawing.
Oh, my gosh.
Definitely going to rock that one to a FWC commission meeting.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit by you that day.
CMF gang. That's going to be the name of the shirt. The pelican fishing with a sabiki rig for manatees, though. Come on.
That's next level.
That's pretty funny.
That's next level.
Oh, it was a pelican fishing for a manatee with the sabiki rig with an eagle entangled in the sabiki rig.
Excellent.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Eagles. You know, federally, like the eagle conversation is exactly the same as the pelican conversation.
Yeah.
like the lead bands are almost universally attributed to eagles because eagles, when they scavenge, they get lead poisoning. But there's more eagles now than there's ever been.
Yeah.
Like way more eagles and less hunters than there's ever been.
Eagles are like seagulls in Alaska.
Dude, they're like seagulls here.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show on this gorgeous Saturday morning. Looking forward to a beautiful week ahead. Weather is looking great. Fishing is going well. And we've got our good friend Captain Travis Thompson from All Florida in studio this morning, talking fishing and hearing your questions and fishing reports. And we've got Adam on the line from St. Pete Beach. How you doing this morning, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, captains. How are you?
Doing well, man.
I am the boat ramp guy. When you told that story, Captain Thompson, I'm brushing my teeth, and I about fell to the ground. I keep my boat at the Patsigo High and Dry. My buddy had just bought a boat. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. He just bought a boat at the time. From matter of fact, Dylan from Pro Marine, the hardest sports, the 150. He got the trailer. He got it A to Z.
Nice.
Lives in Seminole. He says, hey, I've never backed up a boat to the boat ramp. I told a lie. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do it, no problem. So go over to his house, get in his truck, drive over to Bay Pines boat ramp. And it was a holiday weekend because it was packed.
Oh, yeah.
And we went our turn. I go to back it up, and within like 2 minutes, literally the trailer was perpendicular to the truck. I mean, I don't even know how I got so screwed up. Everybody's watching me. Pressure was on. Of course, then I had whiskey dick. It wasn't going to happen, whatever. An old-timer just opens the door. I scared. I didn't even see him come up. He must have come from out. He opened the door. He goes, get out. I'm like, get out. He just gets out, gets me out of the truck, hops in it. 2 moves, boom, it was in the water. Nice. He goes, you need to practice during the week when nobody's here, not on a weekend when, you got 20 people waiting. And he just walked away. I'm like, holy crap. So, needless to say, I told my buddy, you want to do your boat? You do it yourself. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Literally 20 people just standing there waiting, looking. They're all giggling, every single one. So
I'm sorry, Adam, but
true story. Go ahead.
I said I'm sorry you had to go through that, but also I appreciate you learning your lesson about it. It feels like you took it well.
Yeah, and to call and embrace it on the radio. You're the man, Adam.
Well, my girlfriend said, she says you need to go during the week, like at Fort DeSoto, because they have that big boat ramp when nobody's there, and just do it 10 times in a row. And I said, you know what? Screw that. That's my buddy's problem. I keep my boat at Patsigo Marina. I'm just going to have him put it down on the
There
web.
you go.
I keep my boat in a high dry now for a reason.
Know your lane. That's what I heard.
My problem was I told my buddy, oh, yeah, I got it. I thought, because, I know how to run a boat. I'm like, yeah, no problem. How hard can it be? And I said, why don't you try? He goes, no. He didn't want it. He had nothing to do with it. So I had egg on my face. But this guy wasn't having nothing to do with it. Like I said, he just came up from the side. I didn't see him. He opened the door and said, get out. He had enough.
At least he didn't pull you out of the truck.
It's something like Mike Mahoney would do, scare the hell out of you. And I got out, I'm like, okay. And that was it. So, all right, guys,
awesome.
Enjoy the show.
We appreciate it,
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you for the call.
All right, buddy.
See you, bud.
Thanks.
People
Awesome.
love boat ramp stories, man.
Yeah, boat ramp stories and boat ramp videos.
Oh,
Epic.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have some. Glenn from Brandon gave us a call. How are you doing this morning, Glenn?
Morning, Glenn.
Yep. Good morning, guys. How are you going? On the pelicans, you always said, the fishermen or whatever, or entanglements and all. But how about the bird people? They come out there and feed them, and there's nothing done to them. Why don't they do the same? FWC do the same thing as they do with alligators and make it a fine of $500 to feed it.
Technically, it's a felony to intentionally feed seabirds. Is a low class felony, and they are actually starting to enforce that. So that
Why
was.
don't they put some signs up?
There is some signage, I believe. I'm not sure about that, but it's a well-known thing. You can't intentionally feed seabirds. It's pretty well-known across the Skyway. Unfortunately, you are right. there was some people out there heavily feeding birds multiple times during the day and very intentionally feeding the birds and self-admittingly feeding birds in public workshops on public record, admitting to feeding birds.
And the agency recognized the tension there, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like they were trying to rescue a bird, but at the same time, like they're habituating those birds.
Mm-hmm.
So the agency has for sure started to crack down on that.
Yeah.
Like in recent months, they've really started cracking down.
Yeah,
on that.
in the last few months, they've cracked down and they've actually started writing citations to people for intentionally feeding the birds. And needless to say, that wasn't accepted very well, and there's a lot of contention around it, but it has already made a noticeable difference. A lot of people that go out to the Skyway often have noticed a decrease in the number of birds trying to hang out on the pier and around fishermen because no one's feeding them anymore. So they're already quickly learning that that's not a place for an easy meal. So it's making a big difference already. So it's a great point, Glenn.
Now, on the citations, does it include a fine or anything?
I'm sure it does. I don't know the definition of the citations.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know I've known fishermen. One of our guests, our Hubbard's Marina family, went out there and fished all the time for bait prior to trips, and he had a pelican come up to his bait bucket and try to steal his pinfish. So he kind of shooed the pelican away with his rod, is the story I heard. But dude had to go to jail.
Wow.
He served time in jail.
Wow.
Because he shooed a pelican away from his bait bucket with a fishing rod. Now, definition of shooing a pelican away from the bait bucket might be different, but I mean, yeah, he had some serious issues on his hands and had to spend some time fighting it in court to get away from it, and he had fines and a bunch of different things. So you definitely can get into some trouble with the seabirds. You don't want to feed them, and you don't want to be interpreted as trying to be malicious towards them either.
Right.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we
Glenn.
appreciate it, Glenn. Great phone call, and definitely an important subject. You don't want to intentionally feed seabirds because you can get yourself into some serious hot water. And also manatees. I see a lot of people petting manatees.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't want to pet a manatee. A friend sent me a photo. They're like, oh, you might like this for your social media pages. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to post that.
It's one thing to feed like cardinals in your backyard or something, but honestly, like feeding wildlife in general just gets a little dicey.
Yeah,
Habitat improvement, sure, all day long, but directly feeding,
yeah,
it's not. I don't love that.
It's a gray area. So what's you don't like bird feeders, man? You got to think.
I like bird feeders like in my backyard. What I don't like is like the folks that will intentionally feed sandhill cranes, because you see sandhill cranes in neighborhoods pretty frequently, and that's go way in the weeds on a sandhill crane, but really it's illegal to feed them.
The ribeye of the sky.
Sandhills are illegal to feed in Florida. Or maybe it's because they're a federal species. I'm not sure, but
why can you hunt sandhill cranes in some states, but you can't hunt them here?
Charismatic megafauna. The answer
I love
is
that word.
The answer is that Florida actually has a couple of species of sandhill cranes.
Oh,
so we have the I think it's the lesser is the one that you usually see. That's the one that migrates. It's your lesser or greater, and then there's a Florida sandhill and a Cuban sandhill. And we don't know if we were to hunt them in Florida. We don't know if we would take a lot of Floridas out or a lot of Cubans out, or if they would be lesser graders, whatever the migratory ones are. So I think we could get there eventually if we did some kind of a study where you took a small number and then you did DNA samples, which has become really cheap in wildlife now.
Yeah.
Relative. So you have the tag, pay for the DNA sample. You require the hunter to send the DNA. Texas A&M does it. And you could determine like how many, because we, on ranches that I run duck hunts on, we'll see influxes of thousands of sandhill cranes in the winter.
Wow.
Like I'm not talking 2 or 4 at your bird feeder in your neighborhood. I'm talking thousands. Like, and they look like hogs have rooted up those fields.
Wow.
They'll go to a sod
cranes
farm
right
and
there.
just destroy it.
Wow.
Like they're big deal.
A sod farm.
Yep. They'll go to a sod farm and just.
Florida's so cool. There's so many
uproot
things out there in Florida that people just don't know exist.
Oh man, the middle of Florida is special.
Yeah, it is. It is a sod farm. Yeah, St. Augustine grass. We grow a lot of it.
Well, yeah, usually it's Bahia. They're usually doing Bahia from what I see.
I loathe Bahia grass. The previous homeowner at my house thought it was a great idea to plant Bahia grass in the back instead of St. Augustine, and it turns brown for 9 months of the year.
You want me to ruin your day?
come tear out my grass, and I'd be very happy.
Yeah, tear out all your grass would be better.
Yeah, I love my artificial turf
so
grass.
St.
I think
August-
everybody should have an artificial turf lawn.
St. Augustine's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Does not uptake nutrients as well as Bahia.
Oh, so Bahia is better for the environment.
Well, if you have a septic tank, like Bahia will uptake
More
the
of the
nutrients than St. Augustine will. So you see all these neighborhoods get rolled out. They put St. Augustine in because it looks better, and I agree. I think it looks way better, but it doesn't consume nutrients the same way.
I personally, I wish it was more artificial turf. I mean, if you live in the home for more than 5 years, it pays for itself. It's expensive to put in, but it pays for itself because you don't have to water it. You don't have to do anything to it, and it looks nice all the time.
And it's a permeable surface, so you're getting groundwater recharge.
Exactly. I love my artificial turf. I wish we had more of it, but my wife doesn't like it for the front, but for some reason she likes it in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
One of our neighbors did it in the front of their house. I'm like, that looks so good. And she's like, no, I like the grass. I'm like, what about our backyard?
I mean, that's like what the Bucks have, right? That looks like grass.
Dude, some of the new artificial turf looks exactly like grass. You have to really look closely at it to know that it's artificial. It's pretty impressive. You're rolling your eyes at me. You don't believe me, but trust me.
No, I'm rolling my eyes at the idea of yards in general and stuff.
Yeah.
And listen, I've made money in my life as a landscaper. I get that there's a lot of folks listening to this that do that. It's really hard on the environment with as many people as we've got here.
Yeah, it's the most watered agricultural product in the nation.
Yards?
Yeah.
I didn't know
grass. That's what I've heard.
Wow.
The old one of those things they throw out at a meeting that sticks in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I heard at a meeting. Most overwatered agricultural product in the nation.
We did not talk on the air yet about Star.
No,
we talked off here, but we need to talk about Star.
Star tournament kicks off today.
CCA Star. We just looked. It's $80 to register if you're not a CCA member, but that includes your membership.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lisa Fitzgerald didn't call us this morning.
She must be running behind because it's launching today.
Yeah, she's probably chasing tagged redfish around.
She probably is.
She's probably launching a few of them in Pinellas County.
I don't know many people that drive up and down the state more than me. Lisa Fitzgerald's one of them.
She does travel around quite a bit.
She puts the miles on that truck.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you're not in the Star tournament, what they're saying, don't have any tagrets. Tagrets. That launches today, and, man, the prizes on that.
Incredible prizes.
Incredible prizes.
It's only $40 if you're a CCA member, $80 if you're not a CCA member, and it's worth getting into the Star Tournament because it's a whole summer long, I think it's 100 plus days. I don't know.
It's from now to September or something.
Yeah.
And I think your kids.
Labor Day to Memorial Day.
I think your kids can enroll for like $10.
Yeah, it's super cheap for kids.
And your kids can win. So if you take your kids fishing, like to me, that's a low cost investment. You're giving to a good organization because CCA does a lot of good. They're in a lot of rooms that we show up in, and your kids can win scholarships.
Yeah. So for youth CCA Florida members, it's absolutely free. For non-youth members, ages 6 to 17, it's only $10.
$10. So
18 and up, it's $40 if you're a member, $80 if you're not a member. And that's CCAFLstar.com. So CCAFLstar.com for more information on the CCA Star Tournament. It's May 27th to September 4th.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Long time. If you fish a lot, you're a weekend warrior, you going.
Even if you don't fish a lot, if you're going to fish once, because if you catch a tagged redfish, you're literally going to catch a boat.
They give away a truck, multiple boats.
Yeah.
Like Yamaha. Man, it's an incredible
endless
program.
Yamaha motors.
Yeah, Yamaha. I don't know how many motors they give away in that thing, but it's probably like 7 or 8 motors. It's incredible.
So get registered. CCA Star Tournament kicks off today. You don't want to miss out. We got a little bit more show left on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Real Animals Radio will be right back. Noise. I want a turf area. Turf area is awesome, Big O. It's great for the old workout, too. You would like it for your Peloton workouts, man. It's awesome. You want to get down in the grass, and you don't want to lay down in your St. Augustine. Even if you're on a yoga mat or whatever, you still get itchy.
Oh, yeah.
The Bahia grass is nice for that. It is very comfortable. You don't have the little itchy bugs in it. but it's only green for like 3 months of the year.
Absolutely, that's true.
It's the worst.
My neighbor planted St. Augustine. It's crept over and it's taken over my bahia.
You had bahia? Did you plant it?
No, but I've got a pretty big yard. We've got almost an acre that we mow.
Whoa.
And then we have 2.5 acres total.
That's crazy. Orcas have sunk 3 boats in Europe and appear to be teaching others to do the same. Scientists think a traumatized orca initiated the assault on boats after a critical moment of agony. The behavior is spreading among the population through social learning.
They become aware.
What? The marine mammals, the CMF, charismatic megafauna, are learning to strike back.
Yeah, we better hope like manatees and
if the manatees learn to strike back.
What's that whale in the Gulf that they're talking about? The rice
whale. If manatees started striking back, we'd have a problem.
Dude, we'd be in so much trouble.
We're outnumbered.
Basically.
Donald BC, thank you for sharing that one. That's crazy, man. If orcas are killers, man. Those killer whales, they know how to hunt well.
Oh, I saw a video on TikTok the other day. Are you on TikTok? You're on TikTok.
Yeah. Hubbard's Marina on TikTok.
I'll
Follow us, dog.
So I saw a video on TikTok.
That's offensive. He didn't know that we're on TikTok.
I saw a video the other day on TikTok of these orcas. They were in it was like a bay in like Hawaii or someplace. Mm-hmm. And these kids were swimming and the orcas were in there and they made a beeline for those kids. And like somebody's watching it and you could hear the guy on the video say, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to effing watch this. Like it's going to be bad. And the kids stopped and were just still and the orca swam right by them. Like I'm talking like from me to you by him. He gave me chills watching it.
Yeah. Orcas are not
big predators freak me out, man.
Yeah. Sharks are one thing. Like sharks are like puppy dogs, but orcas kill sharks.
Yeah.
Orcas hunt great whites.
Yeah, they're bad news, man.
Yeah. Anything that hunts a great white, not cool. Not okay.
I can't imagine.
That's an apex predator.
I feel like someone said that an orca's never killed a human, like in the wild, because they've killed some SeaWorld trainers. But I'm like, that's just because we don't document all the killings that happen in Alaska. Like, you can't tell me some Eskimo on an ice floe hasn't gotten like picked off by an orca.
I think an orca's killed a human.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, can they distinguish that that's not a seal up there?
Yeah. If they're killing trainers in SeaWorld that are there to like take care of them all the time,
if they can kill walruses and seals and stuff, they can
on an ice floe. Yeah,
yeah, like
they hunt things on an ice floe.
Yeah,
if it sticks out on an ice floe, they're going to kill it, bring it in the water, and eat it. So some Eskimo somewhere has been killed by it.
100%. It's just not listed.
Or a Russian in that northeast area.
Yeah, when I say Eskimo, I'm just considering all people that live in the really cold spots in the world.
Yeah, the fact that people walk across the northern Atlantic. Or North Pacific, excuse me. Someone's been eaten by that.
100%.
I think we're after this.
Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. As we mentioned in the start of the show, the weather is looking spectacular this week. Really, really nice. Like Captain Jim Fogel said earlier, a little bumpy out there today. 2.5 foot currently at Egmont Key, blowing still to 15-knot gusts. So little bumpy, a little breezy today, but going to be calming down. And getting nicer this afternoon, and tomorrow looks even better through the start of the work week, looking real nice. And we're coming up on that full moon fishing should be going really well, especially the second half of the work week as that water starts moving more. So get out there on the water, take advantage of it. Remember that weather update's brought to you by our friends at Reese Windows and Doors, and they install most windows and doors in just 6 to 8 weeks. They're celebrating 51 years as the fastest and most trusted window company in Florida. Text the word HAPPY, HAPPY, to 20129 for a chance to win $15,000 in free stuff. Again, the word HAPPY to 20129 for a chance to win. You don't want to miss out on that. Can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Free
I texted
stuff.
him a minute ago.
If it's free, it's for me.
I will always take free stuff.
Exactly. We appreciate you tuning in, everyone out there in Radio Land and also on our Facebook streams. Appreciate you joining us this morning, Captain Travis.
Glad you had me over.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man. You got duck hunting coming up. You're turkey hunting still?
Turkeys are done.
Turkeys are done.
We're getting ready to start planting for ducks.
Yeah. So you got your farming on?
Getting our duck ranching going. Got the Landscape Conservation Summit this week for FWC. I'll be speaking at that.
Nice.
Got
Landscape Conservation. That's what Travis is in. And give us 30-second elevator pitch on what landscape conservation is, because this was very interesting to me.
It's everything it's not land conservation. It's everything in conservation, including humans, communities, everything.
Yeah.
So fisheries management, wildlife management, but also people, how they interact with conservation, et cetera. So
yeah, and so I interacted with Travis through the Florida Guides Association and fisheries management, and then he told me about all Florida and his landscape management. I was like, what's landscape management? And it's basically an overarching, bigger picture, 100,000-foot view approach to management. It's pretty interesting.
We'll get involved in redfish regulations or snook regulations or deer regulations, but also we'll get involved in
land management.
Yeah, like conservation easements or the wildlife corridor or endangered species, whatever. We try to touch everything. We try to be the board the game is played on. So anyway, but no, I got that coming up. And then
that the game is played on. Quote of the morning.
Aquatic plant management tag coming up. Going to be doing some spraying stuff. Like busy time of year. Trying to fish.
There you go. There it is. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Get out there and capitalize on the snook bite. It's been going really good around the passes and on the beaches. We got pompano action. The redfish are tucking up in the mangroves. Water's warming up. It's really clear. Light tackle's the key. Offshore, we're seeing some big red grouper. Get out there and get your red grouper before they close July 31st. So lots of stuff to do. Tomorrow, super excited. We have Dr. Marcus Dryman from the University of Mississippi on our live stream show tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. And we're going over the Great Red Snapper Count. And he is the head of communications for the Great Red Snapper Count. He's going to be filling us in on what's going on with the Great Red Snapper Count, the ramifications, what's coming from it. It's going to be really, really interesting. So looking forward to tomorrow night's live show. Going to be at Bass Pro tomorrow as well, 2 p.m. at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops tomorrow. Join us there. We're going to be talking fishing, giving away free trips. So hopefully we'll see you out at Tampa Bass Pro tomorrow, 2 p.m. And then June 6th, we've got the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation, free food, free gifts, and a great time talking fishing with Captain Mike Anderson himself. So hopefully we'll see you out there too. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. How would someone book a trip with you, Travis, if they wanted to come hang out?
You can find me on social media at Travis Thompson. You can find me at allfla.org, or you can find me at castandblastfl.com.
Nice. Thanks for joining us this morning, y'all.
Have a safe Memorial Day.
Yeah, have a
Happy
safe Memorial Day. Don't forget the reason for the holiday as well. And big shout out to Jason Behringer for making us sound great this morning. Y'all have a great weekend. Tight lines. We're out.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Killed it. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out this morning on the streams. Hopefully you guys have a safe Memorial Day and a good time out there on the water or wherever you might be celebrating Memorial Day. Maybe at the barbecue. Hopefully enjoying some lobster stuffed whole yellowtail snapper, because that's what I aspire to enjoy by the end of the day.
That's all I can think about.
Yeah, me too.
I've not been thinking about anything else since he said that. It set me back.
Thanks for tuning in this morning, y'all. Have a great day. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Real Animals Radio Show. See y'all.
We are now that the only thing that we're doing is